Hello and welcome to the United Stand. Andreas Pereira wants to leave Manchester United. If you read into his latest interview, I think it was today with Valencia. We've also got an update on Mourinho, an Atletico Madrid player who wants to come to Manchester United who's not Griezmann. But first of all, and most importantly, let me just say that some tragic news in relation to ex-Manchester United footballer Liam Miller, 36 years of age and, as we understand it, diagnosed with quite serious cancer. Hopefully our prayers are with him and hopefully he can pull through that. But bad news coming out over the last 2 days from Ireland, ex-United footballer, ex-Celtic, Liam Miller. I remember when he burst on the scene in the mid-noughties actually, and people were talking about him being the next Roy Keane. Didn't quite work out like that, but still an ex-United player, a footballer, and at 36 years of age is no age. So thoughts and prayers with Liam for that. Tragic. I mean, I'm doing the 24-hour stream on Saturday because I lost a mate who was just 40 a year ago. So, you know, if you can get involved with that on Saturday, these are exactly why we're trying to do it and raise a bit of money for it. But that aside, Manchester United, transfer news, all of that jazz. We will be. It's going to be a Skype show as well, so do drop your likes, get involved. But let's start off with some of the big headlines that you might want to discuss when you do Skype in tonight. Andreas Pereira. I mentioned this about Andreas. Let me just give a context to this because I want to get people calling in tonight telling us what they think about the Andreas Pereira situation. If you've been watching the United Stand for any length of time, you'll know that I've been a big fan of Andreas Pereira for a long time, and I think he has the potential to be one of the best midfielders in Europe. I don't think he's going to be doing that at Manchester United anymore. I really don't. I think a couple of weeks ago he said he was asked about whether he wanted to come back to Manchester United in January. He said no, I'd rather just stay here for the season. I'm settled. That has now developed today to he'd like to have a second year at Valencia and he could see his future at Valencia as well. Now let's not forget, Valencia are having one of their best seasons in recent years. They're not the Valencia that Gary Neville nearly got relegated. They're a decent side. They're challenging for La Liga, exciting side, and Pereira is playing every week. Alright, he might play for an hour and come off for the last 20 minutes, or he might get on for the last half an hour, but he is involved every week. He's enjoying it. He excelled in La Liga last year at Granada and he's doing really well out there. What I know many people are saying, can see it in the live comments, well, it's his own, you know, no sympathy for him. Mourinho wanted him to stay. He wanted to go to Valencia. What's Mourinho supposed to do? And as a defender of Mourinho, I think I sort of thought that, but then today I was thinking, you know what? If Pereira had stayed at Manchester United, he'd have been lucky to get on the bench. Mourinho may have wanted him to stay because he wanted the numbers, but he would still, with all these injuries, I think Pereira still would have been lucky to get on the bench. Mourinho's been sticking with poor Mkhitaryan for a month. He won't even play Mata as a number 10. So what chance is there of him playing a 21-year-old player who he doesn't seem to want to play in the Premier League? Pereira came back from La Liga last season where he was playing every single week and he was one of the best players in that league in a team that got relegated. He's gone to Valencia. Valencia are challenging for the title and he's playing every week. At Manchester United, he would not have got that. I don't think he would have even been on the bench that much, even with all the injuries we've got. So as much as Mourinho can say, I wanted him to stay, and as much as United fans can say, well, he should have stayed, Mourinho wanted him to stay, when you flip it round, he's probably looking after his own career, which, to be fair, why shouldn't he? And he's right. He's right to go to Valencia because he's playing every single week in a really competitive league, challenging for a title. He wouldn't have got that opportunity at Manchester United. So I do think it's a bit of a dead duck argument, even though I was sort of falling into that trap to say, well, Mourinho wanted him to stay. Mourinho's publicly said he wanted him to stay. Yeah, but it's a little bit deeper than that. A lot deeper than that, in fact. And what a shame it is that, you know, I've heard people today going on about Angel Gomez potentially leaving Manchester United, which, you know, would be horrible. But Pereira leaving is just as bad. Pereira's a player who's ready now. And again, this special relationship that I think Mourinho went on about when he came to Manchester United, I think it might start to erode in that. I don't think Mourinho's going anywhere, by the way, and I don't think it will directly impact on United being successful and winning trophies under Mourinho, but winning the trophies maybe we wanted and hoped maybe being eroded. And what I mean by that is if Pereira goes, that's symbolic that a talented young player at Manchester United has had to leave to get football. Yeah, Rashford's here, he's given a debut to McTominay, who I will tell you now, Andreas Pereira is 10 times the player McTominay is footballer, 100%. But so if Pereira leaves Manchester United, no matter how you dress that up, that's quite symbolic. Young, talented player leaves Manchester United. That is what it is. And maybe Angel Gomez looks at that and goes, well, I'm a young, talented player like Pereira. Pereira's had to leave to get football. Maybe I should go to Barcelona. And that's what worries me slightly about that. And just developing the Mourinho special relationship being eroded, there was a very interesting article today. I think it was in the Independent or the Telegraph or the Times, one of the three. And they were basically saying that this Mourinho special relationship that he went on about when he first came to Manchester United, it's a theory that he's eroding that through games that he's played in the past that have worked at smaller clubs, that a club with Manchester United could really blow up in his face. And they were really alluding to the PSG flirtation that he did a couple of weeks ago, saying Paris was a special place, this, that and the other. And obviously a lot of United fans have reacted badly to that. They don't like any manager sort of flirting with other clubs. Manchester United should be the be-all and end-all. And I think it was for Mourinho for the start. But the theory is that actually PSG don't want Mourinho. He doesn't fit in with what PSG want when they've bought Mbappe, Neymar and the vision they have to be an exciting football side. Mourinho doesn't actually fit in with that. They don't want Mourinho. This is a theory. And Mourinho is actually using PSG and the story of PSG and bigging PSG up to get a better contract at Manchester United. It's a bit like the boy who cried wolf. He's sort of like going, look, I can go somewhere else if you don't give me a new contract. When the reality is PSG don't actually want Mourinho because they don't want that sort of a manager who plays that sort of football. It's a theory. It's a theory, but it's a dangerous... If there was any truth in that, it'd be really dangerous for Mourinho because not only could it backfire because Manchester United could see through it, but secondly, you are eroding that special relationship with United fans by mentioning PSG. That's done a lot of damage. So it's interesting to think about that. Obviously, a couple of... we are going to take your calls now, by the way. Asensio, we're linked to Asensio from Real Madrid for 170 million. We're also linked to Saul Niguez, who apparently is open to a move to Manchester United, despite the fact he signed a 9-year contract at Atletico Madrid last summer and has a 130 million buyout clause, I think. I did write it down somewhere. Also talk of Darmian going, which I think he will do. Luke Shaw going for 20 million. Yeah. But let's start taking some of your calls. Oh, I must just say, I am wearing a Manchester United tracksuit. You might not come across totally clear in the lighting because it's black. Adidas there, Manchester United emblem there, obviously the pattern on the shoulder, and it's the training top if you want it, or in the winter days it's very good because it's got the holes to put your thumbs in there, which is Dennis Law-esque. A lot of people ask me where I get my tracksuit tops from. I get them from the official account. I get them officially from Manchester United website. They're available worldwide, and I've actually stuck the link in the video description for you. It says get Mark's tracksuit top, which I'm wearing tonight. The link is in the video description. It'll take you directly to that page. I think it's 60 quid UK money, whatever that is in euros. So if you want to get one, very, very nice. I don't think the lighting does it justice. It's very Luke Skywalker Jedi sort of top, and I love it. I love it. I love it. So the link in the video description for that. But I'm going to start taking some of your calls. What do you want to talk about tonight? Very, very interested to hear what you've all got to say. And we're going to start off with, I think it's Rich. Rich, can you hear me?
Thanks, mate.
How you doing? All right? Hello?
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 Oh.
Hello, you're on the United stand. What do you want to talk about? Okay, we're having a few problems with that call, so we'll take somebody else. Hopefully they are all hanging around still. Hello?
Alright, Mark.
How you doing? Who's that?
Do you remember from Thursday?
Is it Kieran?
Last Thursday? Kieran, yeah.
Yeah, alright mate. How you doing?
I'm alright, you?
Yeah, good thanks, good thanks. Not a bad start to the week. What do you want to talk about?
Firstly, the Pereira thing.
Yeah, go on.
I think he wants to prove himself, and maybe Mourinho's not giving him that game time, so maybe he wants to go to La Liga to prove himself, maybe in La Liga to go to like somewhere like Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Yeah, you know what? I do think I think his future is in La Liga. I don't think we'll see him back at Manchester United. I don't know what your thoughts are on that and how that makes you feel.
I think he will fit into La Liga because he's getting loads of game time at Villa. Was it Valencia? And I think he's getting good game time there as well. I think he's
Does that bother you as a Manchester United fan that this is a young player? And I know we did buy him from PSV when he was like in his teens, but he's still come through the youth setup.
Yeah, go on.
Does it bother you that a player that effectively is coming through our youth system is never going to see the first team, going to go to La Liga, probably end up being a really good player? Does that bother you in relation to our manager?
It does bother me, but then I think he's not getting the game time, so I think he needs to go somewhere where he's going to get the game time and then prove himself, basically. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. So do you think he will move, or do you think he'll come back?
See, I don't. I think he will leave. That's what I think.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm starting to feel the same. And I think his interview today was very, very telling, because there's a real contrast with Pereira. In the summer, he was saying, I want to be at Manchester United, I want to stay at Manchester United. And then in the now we're getting all this, I want to stay at Valencia. And I think there's clearly been a breakdown in the relationship somewhere between them.
Yeah. Also, I want to chat about us winning the league.
Yeah, when are we going to do that?
I don't know if we're going to win the league, but then I think, why not the Champions League? Because Mourinho's had a lot of experience in the Champions League.
Yeah, I think. Go on.
Yeah, go on.
I think 8 points is going to be a lot, and I think we'll know at Christmas whether we're in a title race or not. But the Champions League, if we buy in January and we do get Pogba, Zlatan back, who knows?
Yeah, I know Mourinho's had a lot of experience in the Champions League as well, so you know.
Is that where you think our best chance is this season then, the Champions League over the Premier League?
I reckon, yeah. Sorry about that.
It's alright.
Yeah, so I think if we can finish second this season, who knows next season? We could win the treble next season. We're just growing at the moment. That's what I think.
Yeah, I'd agree. Thanks for opening the call for us again, Kieran. And please do call in again, pal.
Alright, see you later, Mark.
Cheers, pal. He's gone. Great. Let's have a look. Watch United buy back Pereira for 120 million, says Jay Day. Well, it's funny, Jay, because a lot of people, I've heard of people saying today about Pereira, let him go, and as long as we've got a buyback clause, it's all right. Look, he's doing very. The funny thing about Pereira is I know when we do the transfer shows, I know a lot of you, if Pereira was a player from Valencia, we'd be going, Pereira's a good player. United should be in for Pereira. He's already our bloody player. He's already There was a Spanish journalist 2 weeks ago who said Pereira is the best crosser of the ball in La Liga. Manchester United can't cross the ball. Manchester United can't create. We've got this young lad in La Liga tearing it up, and he has done it for the last 2 years, to be fair, and we're going to let him go just because he's a young kid. I guarantee if he was 2 inches taller and in his late 20s, Mourinho would be all over him. But he doesn't fit what Mourinho wants. A little bit taller and a little bit more experienced. But what I wanted from Pereira this summer was for him to go on loan to a Premier League club, because he did La Liga last year, and I think now we're going to see him go to La Liga, and that's a mistake by United as far as I'm concerned.
It's the best crosser of the ball in the...
Jared?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
What's up? How you doing?
Good, you?
I'm great.
Good?
I'm great.
What do you want to talk about?
Let's talk about Pereira. So it's interesting. I couldn't agree with you more. I don't want to lose him. But I think if you're talking about Mourinho, the best example would be to look at his history and ask the Chelsea fans if they wanted to lose De Bruyne and Lukaku and a bunch of young, talented people that he did not give a chance to because they didn't fit exactly what he wanted at the time, or they didn't do exactly what he wanted. And I think nobody wants to sell their best talent. And I think the problem is you try and buy into what the manager wants. But this is just something where I vehemently disagree with Mourinho. He has always had a problem building youth. And if there's anything I'll ever critique him on, it's this specific thing. He did his best to get Rashford in there, to keep the fans happy with Martial. I believe that if the fans weren't in love with Martial, he would never play, because Mourinho doesn't like him. But I think he knows that he'll lose the fans if he loses someone like him. But I think there's a lot of young talent that he does not know how to nurture. It's not one of his best skills. And it's the opposite about like a guy like Guardiola, who I despise as a manager, but I think if you give him one good trait, it's the ability to build young talent and keep them. So
I just want to jump in on there, Jared, because you're making some good points. I mean, what I would say is, look, I'm a big fan of Mourinho, and I think there's a lot of us that are. But when he came to United that summer, and we were all excited, and I was really excited, I said, the one thing I'm going to say to you all now is, don't judge him on his youth, because he's terrible with youth, and that has pretty much continued. Rashford wasn't his youth player, and Martial obviously was bought, and yeah, he's played McTominay, but McTominay's nowhere near one of our best youth players anyway. That he's just playing because he's tall. But in relation to Mourinho not doing it with the youth is frustrating, but actually I said that from day one when I was really excited we got him. So it's not digging him out now because things aren't going great. I never expected him to be great with youth. In relation to Guardiola, I mean, Guardiola's not really using the youth at Man City. They've just let one of the best young English players go to Borussia Dortmund because he's fed up. And yeah, some of the players he's got are young, but I don't really see any young players coming through that City lineup. He's spending money and he's building a team that's a checkbook team. He's not going to use youth that Pep isn't, I don't think.
Well, 100% agree with you. I'm not talking about youth like Phil Foden. I'm talking about youth like Jesus. He will buy a talented youth player, not build them from the academy, but just outside of that and take them from there and keep them for a long time. But he will buy the player at a more talented level than building him through an academy. I'm not saying he does that. Just saying he keeps players who are 21 and 22 on his team for a very long time. He manages to do that well. That's all I'm saying.
And what do you think about this theory that's been floated around the British press today, that Mourinho has actually played a very dangerous game by flirting with PSG, that PSG don't even want him because he doesn't fit in with the sort of football they want to be played at PSG. Mourinho is simply mentioning PSG to sort of blackmail Manchester United into giving him a big contract. A dangerous game if he's done that, and he's willing to do that because obviously he's upset a lot of United fans by doing it.
So I'm glad we brought it up because I was going to get to this next. The Mourinho PSG thing is, I believe, 100% real. 100%. And I think he will leave if not backed in January. I think he is probably doing quietly what Conte did loudly, and he is going to war with the club and the way they do business. He believes he should be given everything he asked for because he is overachieving in every single way. He promised the board, I bet you, a bunch of things, and I bet he's over-delivered on everything he said he would do, except for the title. We as fans expect a title, so when a manager doesn't deliver that, they're not doing a good enough job. But Mourinho's progressed this squad in such a way that I would not want to lose him. He is the right manager for United if he gets what he wants. But I do believe that a team like PSG, with unlimited money, unlimited resources, and zero stress as long as he can deliver in big games, what manager wouldn't want that if the club that you're at is not treating you the way you deserve to be treated? This man should be given everything he wants. Last time we got off the call, and I think a very interesting point was made. A lot of fans continue to harp on this fact that Mourinho was given $300 million. I don't care. If Mourinho wants $750 million, he gets what he wants because he's at the biggest club in the world. And we, as a club and as a fan base, we as the fans back him, and we hope the club backs him. But I think it is very clear now that they didn't. And the definition now of fans determining what backing means give the manager what he wants and nothing less. That's backing.
Yeah.
Any other level less than that means you're a hack club, and backing is being determined by, well, we hope they're being backed or this. No, we're the biggest club in the world. You back our manager. You give him everything he needs to win the title. And if you don't, and it comes out that you didn't give him Perisic isn't Messi. But for what this club needed, Perisic would have delivered an impact on that level, where he would have delivered an ability to cross. And in training, this guy looks like, I wouldn't want to be in 10 lengths of Perisic and Matic ever. I believe they're the most intimidating players I've seen on a field. Isn't that what you want? That's what I feel like Mourinho's been trying to change the culture of United, and he wanted to bring in players to change everything from top down. I think Perisic and Matic are the same type of mindset. Run-through-wall player. Unfortunately, like a Fellaini, who hopefully does leave, but like a Fellaini who will run through a wall, but they actually have the skill set to play into Mourinho's lineup and bring him trophies, which I think is all he wants. And I just hope our club backs him. I think everything you've said about him is accurate. I just hope it doesn't come true. But it could.
I think it's a shame, really, because all summer there was a lot of people saying don't want Perisic, and there were some people who said they did want Perisic, and I really wanted to get Perisic because I knew, a bit like I was wrong about Matic, I knew with Perisic a lot of people were going to be wrong about him. I knew he would tear it up. He's so hard to tell which foot he is because he's is so good off both. He's got a great delivery, he's got a great work ethic, he's physically strong, and he's exactly the sort of player Mourinho wants, and he's very, very creative. And that feeds into the second thing you were talking about there, is that I sort of agree with you that people get lost. They're very subjective about what being backed is, because you've hit the nail on the head there. You're not backed if you don't get everything you want. And Mourinho obviously has had some backing, but it's fell short of what he wanted. And whether that's symbolic of Perisic in the summer, or whether it's symbolic of maybe he wanted somebody last January, he's certainly banging his head against the brick wall with United's board and Woodward, who are, you know what, they're not giving him everything he wants. But, you know, maybe that's a different conversation. He's got what he's got. But I've got to say that Perisic would have been, and obviously is, exactly what we need at United, because their ability to put the crosses into the box is absolutely shocking. Absolutely shocking.
100%. No, you're right on. I know I've taken a bunch of time, so I don't want to take any more. But overall, you know, I just think your point is dead on with Mourinho. But again, I don't think if City weren't where they are and the press wasn't literally thinking Guardiola walks on water, I don't know that Mourinho would have had these problems. But it cannot be easy for a person of his ego to listen to every day having your #1 competitor on earth being called the greatest manager ever.
Yeah.
And in his head, I am certain it's creeped in that, oh, great. It's nice that I could have done what he's doing, but I wasn't backed. And that's where I think this is coming from, more than anything else.
Thanks for the call, Jared. Really, really good.
Of course. Thanks, Mark. You have a great day.
No, and you too. Thanks so much for calling again. Yeah, I think that's a good thing as well, because, you know, for those of us who back Mourinho, and he is Manchester United manager, you've got to empathise with the situation that he is. And I've said this since he came here. The press don't like him in this country. They pretend they do, but they don't. They love an anti-Mourinho story. And Mourinho is sat second in the league. He's won as a trophy we've never won in our history in the Europa League. He's battled, you know, lots of things in relation to injuries and that. He's starting to lose the fans at Manchester United, which I just don't get. He's constantly, every result that doesn't go our way, whether it's a draw or a loss, of which there's not been that many, it's like the end of the world. He's got the entire press is up Pep's arse. The entire press is up Pochettino's arse. I mean, it was Klopp as well. I mean, Klopp, Liverpool got spanked at Wembley by Spurs. What, a couple of weeks ago? It was hardly mentioned. But United, constant. So Mourinho, you know, he must find it very, very frustrating. Very frustrating. I think that's why it's important that he builds this relationship with United fans up a little bit more, though, because it needs, you know, when we've got that siege mentality, it works, definitely works the best. I'm going to take another call, because that's what we're all here for, aren't we? Hopefully you've got Christopher on the line.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, how are you doing?
Well, thanks. How are you?
Good, good. What did you want to talk about?
Well, just on the whole Herrera thing, like, I was just thinking, like, not even Herrera, but the Pereira thing, if Pereira was still there, I think you probably would have gotten in ahead of Herrera, because we also at the beginning of the season it was difficult for Herrera to even get on as a sub, and I mean there was Fellaini that was getting game time ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think in relation to Pereira, as I said before, I felt sad that he'd gone at the start of the season, because Mourinho came out and said he didn't want him to go. But actually, in hindsight, he's playing every week for Valencia, who are challenging for La Liga. If he'd stayed at United, I don't think he would have been anywhere near the first team. I think Mourinho wanted him to stay, to have him as a squad player.
And I mean, also, if you take that into consideration, like, he obviously wanted to be part of the Brazil squad. So, and my thinking was, like, if you want to go play for Brazil, then, you know, go ahead, do that, because I mean everyone wants to be part of that World Cup squad.
He's got it. I tell you what, in that, when you put it like that, and I know it's been mentioned before, but I think he'll have to go some to get in the Brazil squad. But playing week in, week out for Valencia in La Liga is going to give him a much better chance than being a bench player for United in League Cup games.
It can't hurt. But the other thing that I was thinking of as well is, like, you know, leading up to all of these results and everyone sort of going on, like, hagging on Mourinho and, like, he doesn't play the youth, he's boxed the bus. I mean, he's done so many things, like, this like last season and even this season, that when like leading up to these games, that people don't even see these things come. He does things that people don't expect. Now, when it comes to the youth, though, none of the Premier League managers are taking chances on youth. That's like, obviously, yes, they are taking chances on players that are like your Gabriel Jesus and your Martial and like those youth players or those young players, but they aren't necessarily from the youth. They don't come sort of from the academies. So, I mean, can we really blame Mourinho for not wanting to, bring these young guys in? Because, I mean, let's face it, the chances of managers actually staying on after bringing in these youth players are so short. I mean, look at Bilic, look at, what's his name, De Boer. I mean, 4 games and he goes. Like, I mean, the margin for error is so small. Like, who would want to take chances on some or on a youth player? And apart from Pochettino, but he's got that reputation. He's any youth player.
He's the obvious one who has, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, any youth player that plays for a team that Pochettino is at, they're gonna know, like, if he comes to speak to me, or if he comes to like want me to play, like he's going to back me. So because I've got that backing, I'm gonna play much better. But I mean, other managers who are sort of under the cosh, who are sort of stressing about their job, they're not going to take the chance on a youth player, and because that manager doesn't have the confidence in that youth player, obviously they're not going to do so well. So I mean, it's one of those things where you either decide whether, or it's sort of from the board, they have to decide what their goal is, what their plan is. They need to decide, look, you need to make sure that so many youth players are coming through the team, and we will back you in a sense where, even if they don't do well, or even if the team doesn't do well, as long as this minimum requirements is met, that they still, like, you can still keep your job.
Yeah. It's a good. I mean, one thing I would say is that, and I know most of people will be aware about it, is that Manchester United are the only club by decades who've had a youth player part of their matchday squad since the 1930s, and that will never change. So Mourinho at the moment, if you look at the young players that he always has in his match squad, it will always be Rashford or Lingard, because that they are experienced players. But what you've just said there is brilliant, and it makes total sense that the risk of playing young players, a lot of clubs won't dare do it, whether it's Pulis at West Brom, Pep at Man City, United, Mourinho. Obviously, Spurs have done it. I think Harry Winks at Spurs. It's amazing. He's playing as a midfielder in a Spurs side, doing really well, and he's come through the youth setup. Obviously, Harry Kane's come through as well. But in relation to what you were saying there, well, Mourinho's going to be more focused on results. Of course, we'll talk with this. What we opened up the show with. The downside of that is you've got a player who I've believed in for 2 or 3 years. That we've been doing the United stand. I've mentioned Andreas Pereira. Really, really believe in him, and he looks like he'll be off to La Liga. I mean, how does that? That's the downside, isn't it? He'll go to La Liga. He could end up being one of Europe's best midfielders, and he should have been at Manchester United. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's sort of like the Pogba thing, because we see them go, and then they take the league by storm, and then we're like, he could have been with us. And then at the end, there was a comment earlier, we could be paying 89, 90 million just to get Pereira back, or maybe even 120 to get Pereira back. And then it's sad in that sense, but I think it's sort of where it's gotten to a point where, like, the player, like, I don't begrudge the player for wanting to get more game time, or wanting to sort of put his foot in the door to get into the Brazil team, or if he feels that he can get more game time somewhere else. Like, I mean, we should be happy that he's wanting to play football. And yes, it's kind of sad that it's not going to be at United, and we would want it to be at United. But again, that goes sort of back to my point where no one really is going to take no manager is going to take a chance on bringing in youth players, or not bringing in the finished article, or someone who's going to sort of take the league by storm type of thing. And the other thing I also wanted to mention was, like, everyone is sort of going on with Mourinho, he's being negative and all of that type of stuff. But I mean, if I was looking at the top sides after 11 games for the past 5 seasons, and all of those teams had 24, 25, 23 points. So the fact that we have the amount of points that we do now, and we're second, is only because City's that much better this season. And as much as it pains me to say it, if City keep up, let's say they beat everyone in the league, they don't lose a game, or they barely lose a game, I would rather us like sort of keep in or stay in it for as long as we can, than where we have those matches like against like. Let's not hope that this happens, but like Brighton comes to visit and then we draw against them 0-0, like 50 shots at goal, 20 on target, but then we can't convert it. Like I would hate for that to happen.
Yeah.
But thanks, Mark, for having me on. I don't want to keep you too long.
No, really good call, Christopher, and please do call in again.
Sure, thanks, man.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
bye.
And the thing I take away, I always take something away from every call, and so should you, is that you know what? Mourinho, I said it when we got him. Mourinho, is he going to use the youth? No. Who is using the youth? I think the big problem is, I'd love someone to call in actually tonight and talk about Pochettino, because a lot of people want Pochettino at United, and it's that whole, yes, he plays the youth, yes, he plays good football, but how many cups has he won? And let's not forget, Pochettino has purposely got them knocked out of cups. Last season in the FA Cup, this season in the League Cup. Mark's chair has donated a £5. He says, I donate this super chat in honour of all the missed super chaps. May they rest in peace. They don't get missed, mates, as you well full know, you cheeky gets. And I'll be farting on you in a minute for that. Robin's not called in, Marcus. I know you wanted me to keep an eye out for him, but we'll take another call. I'd love someone to call in about Pochettino, though, because, yes, it's that whole difference. What? Is he still crying? No? Okay. It's alright. Seb's been crying a bit, but my daughter's been keeping an eye on him, so we can carry on for a little bit. Yeah, so what do people think about Pochettino is what I was going to say. But let me get another caller on. Let's try and get... I don't know who I've clicked there. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Mark. Yeah.
Hiya. Is that
Hello?
Paul, is it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
How you doing? Are you alright?
Not bad, mate. Yeah. I've got to look at this from a different perspective in my eyes. I think the club is actually going in a better place than it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, basically. Everyone's on Jose's back. I think Pereira bottomed it. He should have stayed at United on loan in the Premier League club like Fasu Benson did. And I don't know what you think, but I just think that we're so close, but we're just missing just something. And I think Matt is the man who can provide that for United if you play him as number 10.
Yeah.
So we're sticking him on the wing
agree.
or on the bench. He's too good for the bench, in my eyes. That's what I think. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm a first-time caller, so basically, I don't know. I think the club's going in the right direction. He won 2 trophies, and everyone's moaning at him. So what? He might be flirting with PSG. He might not be. He might just be happy in the hotel. You know, he's not going to have 1 room in that hotel. He's going to have a 4 in that hotel. So I think Jose's happy at United, and I think it's just all paper talk. And just when international break, now to talk about it, the only thing that can sell papers is Manchester United. Always has been, always will be, in my eyes.
Yeah, spot on. And I do agree with you about Mourinho that, you know, the Stoke game annoys me because that was a Phil Jones mistake. That was 2 points. Fine margins,
Yes.
and we're still second in the league. So yeah,
Well, and everyone's moaning. We've got the Hayes had 11 clean sheets in whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's just like everyone's picking on the littlest, crappiest things like, oh, Lukaku's not scored. It doesn't matter. He's still putting in the effort. He's becoming a better player at United. In 2 years, that guy will destroy every defence in Europe. There's no doubt about it. At the time he's 26, like Drogba. When Drogba came to Chelsea, he was 26 years of age, or whatever, and he was an animal. And that's the way I feel that Lukaku will go. He's got the right person around him, like Zlatan. He's learned off good players in the past at Chelsea, at Everton. So, like, what's he called? Sorry, I forgot his name now. The guy from Barcelona, the coloured person. Sorry, the black lad. Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o. Oh, he said he used to learn off him every day. He just wanted to have shooting practice with him. So I think that people who are on everyone's case at United should just sit back, take a deep breath, right? And by the time the prizes come to be given out, we will be there or thereabouts. City can't keep doing this forever. Because at the end of the day, you've got no back four. And he's gonna slip up Pep at the end of the day. He'll just battle at Mourinho, just doing my mind games, and I think, Mark.
Yeah, I think
So,
it's nice to have some positivity.
That's just my opinion.
But it's nice
Yeah,
to
it
have
is.
some
And at the
positivity.
end of the day, it is, and that's all. And I'm ringing from like Sale in Manchester. So, in Manchester, we believe that we're still the greatest team in the world. And I'm not. Listen, I love watching United stand all the time, and I love how people ring from South Africa, all over the world. I'm not one of these Mancunians that say, if you're not a Man, you're not a Red. At the end of the day, something happened to us in '58 that made a lot of people love Man United. End of. So just embrace the club and just stop get off everyone's back. And just here's a bit of Deadwood. We know this Deadwood, but it's part of Man United. Man United is always going to carry a bit of Deadwood with it, and people aren't like Ashley Young. Well, I wouldn't want to leave funds and hang around the week, would you? I'd be injured every transfer window. But at the end of the day, I just like to say thanks for taking my call. It's a great show. Keep up the work. I think I started following you at about 30,000 subs. So I'd just like to say that just be positive, Reds. Come on, get behind our team. Stop getting on Jose's back. Just get off everyone's back. Just let the players do what they got to do. And I tell you what, I can smell 21, me, Mark. I don't care what anyone says. I think that the 21st title will come in this year.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
See you next time. It's nice to speak to you.
You too, Paul. Thanks for calling in. Cheers, pal.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Yeah, and I tell you what, we don't always get that, and I really enjoyed that call because obviously local Mancunian, but the positivity could come from anywhere in the world, and it's nice that it comes from there because I think that is really important. Whether you want Mourinho out or not, I don't agree with why you'd want Mourinho out, but he ain't going anywhere. And as I said last night with Ross and Flex, and we were talking about it then, between now and Christmas is going to define not only our season, but I think it will define Mourinho's future at United. Because when we hit that January transfer window, how far off City are we? How many fans are behind Mourinho? Is Mourinho still happy? So it defies belief that we would want negative results to get rid of Mourinho. We've been down that road before. I mean, I got fed up with Moyes, and it got to the point where I was like, you know, if we lose this game and they get rid of Moyes, then I'll take it, because I knew he was terrible for our club. I knew he was a terrible disease within our club. With Van Gaal, I nearly did, but it was an FA Cup final. I was like, no, I want to win the FA Cup, but it was difficult under Van Gaal. I don't want to go down that road again where we go through a long period of bad results to get rid of a manager, and I really believe in Mourinho anyway. So I'm excited about Newcastle. And what I would say, I was thinking about it today, funnily enough, at work, went into the toilet, and I do think about football a lot, and I was thinking, I can think of a few results we've had against Newcastle over the years, Sir Alex Ferguson as well, where they've come to Old Trafford and frustrated the hell out of us and it's been 0-0. So don't take anything for granted on Saturday, although I do think we will win. Positive, and let's get back on track. For me, the best thing United can do is just, you know, City, maybe we can catch them, maybe we can't. That will take care of itself. But what the most important thing we need to do is keep hold of second place. And the way we do that is by winning football matches. And then the rest of it will take care of itself. Robin, can you hear me? I don't know whether Skype's just dropped down for me or not. Remember to drop a like on the video, folks. Lots of really good calls tonight, and I really do like to get as many likes as possible on the show. We've had some really cracking calls as per usual, and please support everybody. We have got a fantastic community, and support each other and drop a like on the video. Robin, can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm alright, thank you.
Good. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I know it's already been kind of discussed on the show already, but I wanted to talk about Mourinho.
Yeah, go. Good.
Well, basically, I think it's pretty disgraceful where he's been treated at the moment. For one, he's the best start to a season we've had in, I'd say, at least the last 5 years. And what else was I going to say?
Do you think that, you know, when you say he's not been treated that well, are you talking about from the press or from the fans or from the club?
Mostly the fans, because the press have treated him badly as well, but from the fans, I can't understand where that mentality comes from.
Yeah.
Because we've had a very good start, and last year we won 2 trophies, the first manager to ever win trophies in his first season. I
agree with you, and everyone knows this. So I'm only playing devil's advocate here, but I also know we get a lot of people who aren't happy. And from what I pick up, people aren't happy. I mean, I was talking about it there. You've got Pochettino playing really good football, plays the youth, and a lot of Manchester United fans want Pochettino at United. You've got Mourinho, said from the start, won't play the youth, but I still wanted him. Football is a bit hit and miss as to whether it's entertaining or not, but he wins trophies, and I think that is the division at the moment. Yes, it's Mourinho or Pochettino, or it's Mourinho out or Mourinho in, or it's winning trophies, not playing great football, or playing the youth and not winning trophies. It's sort. I wouldn't say it's dividing, because I'd still say 80% are behind Mourinho, but 20% is still quite a lot who are not so sure on Mourinho. And I think it comes down to that. If I was asking you about that, Robin, good football, no trophies, bad football, trophies. What's more important for Manchester United?
I'd say in the longer run, it probably is the football. But at the moment, it's been such a long drought without winning the league that at the moment we just need to win the league as soon as possible.
And you know what? If I'd set that question and I was looking for a 10 out of 10 answer, I would have given it you. I think you've hit the nail on the head. Yes, of course, Manchester United's about good football, but the last 4 years have been awful. We've been 5 years without a title now, and the short-term pain of Mourinho, if that's what it is, to win the league, I think we've got to do it, because we haven't got time to try and build a footballing side at the moment to win a title. We need to get the club back on the map, so to speak, and the only way you do that is by winning the Premier League.
Yeah, but at the moment, the funny thing is that the football's not even been that bad, especially at the start of the season. We was playing almost, I'd call it scintillating football at some points.
Yeah.
So.
Do you think that's to do with... it was funny enough, I was talking to a couple of United fans at work today about the Pogba effect, and there was a bit of a divided opinions. One fan was saying, yeah, we miss Pogba, and then another one was a bit like me, saying, well, yeah, we have missed Pogba, but why are Manchester United a one-man club? You know, we shouldn't miss him so bad that we, disintegrate like we did in October. I think we took 4 points from 12 and played some really bad football. But Pogba back now, do you think that will be the catalyst to get us playing well again?
Yeah, I really do. I think Pogba coming back is the missing piece in our team at the moment, because the moment he left the team, we just dried up of all creativity. He was the main driving force in that midfield for our attack. I think that may be the reason why Mkhitaryan is struggling at the moment, because the midfield behind him is just too static at the moment.
I'm going to deduct you 10 points for that, Robin. No, my only problem with that is, and you're not the only person to say it, but I don't understand how a professional footballer of Mkhitaryan's quality, can go from Pogba can dictate whether he's trash or good. I think he's got to take some responsibility. I totally agree that Pogba can make Mkhitaryan's job easier and create and give him the ball quicker, but Mkhitaryan's had a lot of opportunities over the last month, and he has been shockingly bad. I don't understand why that is.
No, maybe it's not all because of Pogba, because at the beginning of the season he was stat-patting a lot, but it just adds that extra. It means we don't have to be as reliant on Mkhitaryan to have a good game with Pogba there.
Well, the thing about Pogba is that he can have the ball in our half and he can hit a 40-yard pass and Lukaku's in on goal. I don't think there's nobody who can do that. Matic can hit a long pass, but it's a bit like a Carrick long pass. It's not got the pace or the speed that a Pogba ball will have, and I think Pogba is the player who sort of gets us from attack from defence to attack very quickly, and also Pogba's very good at driving forward with the ball. My concern about Pogba is we put all our eggs into one basket with Pogba. He comes back for 2 weeks, does his hamstring before the City game, and we're back where we are now. It's like, I just wish we had another mid. I like Ross Barkley. I know he's not Paul Pogba, but it's the same sort of player. And I just think we need a little bit. We need another sort of Pogba in the midfield. Herrera can't do that job. Matic can't. I mean, Mourinho has said that when Pogba's injured, Fellaini's my replacement. I mean, you couldn't get more of a contrast. I mean,
Yeah.
so we have missed that sort of Pogba player. But do you see? We were sort of linked. I saw something about Saul Niguez today at Atletico Madrid. I mean, I don't think we're getting him because he's got a 9-year contract. But is there any sort of player that you'd like to bring in that sort of midfield position to sort of complement if Pogba's needing a rest or out injured? I mean, I suppose it's hard in world football to find a player like that, which is why we're fortunate to have him.
Yeah, there's not really many players like Pogba at all, but one player I would like is Dendoncker, I would say, because he's not really like Pogba, but he seems to me the sort of player that's got an engine, and with Pogba out, he could fill a job there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Anyway, Robin, great to get you on. Thanks for calling in, and please do call in again.
Cheers, Mark. Love the show. Bye.
Great, pal. Thank you. Don't forget to drop a like on the video, folks. Really important to the community, which is you and the people who call in, to be able to see the amount of likes a video's got, because it's their show tonight, and it's one of my favourite shows of the week. So really do. Giorgino from Napoli says Jonathan Royston Ford. Yeah, very, very good player. Rodney is in the house apparently. Well, Rodney will be on the show. He is. I've just seen him. Rodney will be on tomorrow night with me at 8 o'clock. So make sure you join us for that. And then we'll be another day closer to the weekend. Remember, you can get the tracksuit I'm wearing. It's through the United Store. The link is in the video description. If you look in the video description, it will say get Mark's tracksuit top. Link in the video description will take you directly to the page. I get so many people asking me, where do you get your tracksuit tops from? So I'm starting to put the links into the video when I wear them from now on. So the link is in the video description. The thing I like about this, I didn't even know. I thought I'd got a faulty one because it's got a bit of it's got a hole in it there. But apparently it's the modern style, and I love that sort of the Dennis Law thing. So you put your thumb through it, and it comes half the way up, which in the winter is fantastic. It's got an emblem United there. It's got a thing over the shoulder. Lovely top. You can wear it too in the video. Link in the video description takes you straight to the United page. Have we got time for another call? I'm gonna click Andy because he's opened the show before, and he'll be at the end of the show now. Andy, how you doing?
Good, Mark. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks. Great shows, great calls as ever. What did you want to talk about?
A little bit about Mourinho and the question you put to the last call about someone filling in for Pogba.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I'd like to start with that, if that's all right.
Yeah, go on then. So we were saying, Pogba obviously very unique sort of player. I think he will make a big difference when he's back, but it just worries me how injured he gets. He might get again, and we'll be back in the square one. So who would you sort of like to bring in as maybe someone to give us a bit more balance in there if Pogba is in
I would love Vidal or Nainggolan. I absolutely love Vidal. He's a warrior. He's absolute quality. He plays his heart out for Chile. He's not done so well at Bayern Munich, but he always turns up for Chile in the big games. And I remember at Juventus, he always turned up for the big games as well. I'm not really sure why it's gone wrong from at Bayern, but he's absolute quality. He really is. And Nainggolan, he's pretty much the same player, isn't he? He's an engine, gets around the pitch, quick in the tackle. He's brilliant. Both proper old school players as well. I'd love one of them, but I don't think either of them is realistic. Nainggolan is very committed to Roma, and I can't see us prizing Vidal away from Bayern. I don't think that's going to happen. No, so it's a shame.
A good call, really.
I can't really think of anyone else. Dendoncker, I've never watched him apart from the Europa League games against us when he played really well, but I think that's maybe a bit of a risk, especially from the Belgian league. I'm not really sure. Maybe Fabinho, but I mean, I did want him in the summer, but again, the French league, is it really one of the more stronger leagues out there? I don't think it is. So it is difficult. It's really difficult.
I'm just looking at the live comments there because obviously Xander's doing a watch along on That's Football for the Italy-Sweden game, but a lot of people are saying that Darmian's injured, and I've got to be totally honest. I've got to do an Alan Partridge shrug to that. I'm not bothered. Darmian being injured in the international break, I'm not going to go into a meltdown about that. I'm sorry, he shouldn't even be at the club. He's a nothing player. He's a meh player. What does he do? Yeah, he plays in the League Cup for me. Oh, Bristol might be a tough game if he's not back for December the 20th because Darmian's nowhere near the first team. I'm not bothered if he's injured. Well, I don't want him to be injured, obviously. I don't wish injury on anyone. But realistically, if I could pick one player from international duty to get injured, it probably would be Darmian because he's nowhere near the first team.
Yeah, well, you said it before, haven't you? He can't. He gets a nosebleed every time he crosses the halfway line. So
yeah. What was you going to say about Mourinho anyway? I did cut in there.
I can see. This is where I find it really difficult. So Mourinho, I can't stand him as a person. I can't stand the way he publicly criticises players. He clearly neglects to play the youth. And his negative tactics away against the top six especially. But in respect of all that, I think it'd be a massive risk to bring in Pochettino. Just like you said, he hasn't won anything at Spurs. Mourinho, I think, is the best man for the job at the moment. But the thing that worries me the most is the inevitable Mourinho meltdown. And you've seen it at every club. In the third season at Chelsea, he lost the dressing room and he went out with a bang. It was really, really bad. He did the same at Real Madrid. He had bust-ups with Ronaldo and Casillas, I think, from memory. And again, he lost the whole dressing room. He did it Inter Milan as well. I think that is coming at Man United, the Mourinho meltdown. It might happen next season. It might happen the season after. That is what worries me the most. And we could be back to the club we were under Louis van Gaal when we're really struggling. He might win as a league, Jose. I don't know if he will yet or not. But that Mourinho meltdown, I think, is inevitable, and that really, really worries me.
The only thing I would agree with that, because obviously I think totally different, but it's your call. The one thing that I would say and agree with is something I read today as well. 3 years, you're right. It doesn't stay anywhere longer than 3 years. So we're nearly exactly halfway through. And can he, considering the third year is normally where it goes wrong, something's going to have to give, because a lot of people think this is not going to be the year we're going to win the title. It'll have to be next year. Well, if next year is the year where it goes wrong for Mourinho, something's got to give in relation to his history, and hopefully I think that next year we'll win the title. I mean, I'm hoping more than believing that we're going to win the title this year now, because I think 8 points is a lot considering the fixtures that are coming up. But here's a good shout actually. James Key said Moussa Dembele from Spurs would be a brilliant sort of backup for Pogba, and I do agree with that.
Yeah, I love him as well. He's quality, and Wanyama as well. He's good, but Dembele he's absolute quality. That's a really good shout. That.
So, do you think Mourinho's going to win as a title? If just to put you on the spot, what do you think this season's going to happen to United?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to win the league this year. I do think we'll cut the gap from 8, because like I think pretty much every caller's alluded to it. City aren't going to carry this form on forever. They're not going to go the season undefeated, despite the fact that the press want them to. But
I definitely think we will beat them in December at Old Trafford. I do. It's just that I think the gap will still be very big. That's all.
Yeah, they won't continue this run forever. I don't know. It all comes back to the debate, doesn't it? Will Mourinho get backed? Like I think I came on last week and said, I don't think we'll sign anyone in January as much as we need to. So then it's all about the summer, but it's World Cup summer, as you've already said. It's going to be a tight deadline to get deals done, if we do any. So that is the main concern. We need investment in our squad because there's too much deadwood. That's my concern. So I think if the board back Mourinho, I think we've got every chance next year. It's just whether Mourinho has his infamous meltdown or not. But I think that's inevitable. Whether it happens next season or the season after, I think there will be a meltdown at some point, because I think it's happened at every club he's been at, unless he can buck that trend. But that's up to him, really.
Be interesting to see. Thanks for calling, Andy. Towards the end of the show today instead of the start, but thanks for calling in, pal.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
Cheers,
all the best.
And you.
Cheers.
Another really good call, and thanks for everybody who has called in so far tonight. What was I going to say? Christopher Morton says that's why a long-term contract with Mourinho is the key. He might actually relax and focus on winning. I was going to say that, Christopher. I'm glad you brought it up as well. Let's not forget Mourinho is angling for another contract at United, which will take him beyond the 3 years anyway. So, make sure you've dropped a like on the video. I think likes are a bit low tonight, considering we've got all you, the community, calling in. So please do drop a like. It's big for the people who call in to be able to see and get that backing from the community. And we have got the best Manchester United fan community, I think, on any platform. It really is fantastic. And you make the show what it is and the channel what it is. 100%, definitely. As Mad Marcus says, good calls tonight. what was I going to say? Christopher, I can't read your comment again, even though it's very good because it would be bias. Cranium says if Mourinho doesn't get backed in January, he will go summer. George Kyle was talking about my Luke Skywalker outfit. It's actually a black Manchester United tracksuit. It is very, very classy. You can wear it as well. It's available in the Manchester United store, and I've even put the link in the video description for you. Worldwide free delivery. I forgot to say that. The United store at the moment has got worldwide free delivery as long as you spend over 60 quid. Well, I think this tracksuit is 60 quid. So you get worldwide free delivery through the United store at the moment. The link in the video description is for that. And you know what? If you're going to buy any merchandise for United, you may as well get it from the actual club rather than that fat one from Sports Direct. Thank you, Elpo Martinez, although we don't really want to go down that road. I've got to say as well, it's been a bit of a weird Monday. The international break so far has been absolutely fantastic. Loads of you have been watching the videos. Views, interaction's been great. And then today it seems to have gone off a cliff edge for some reason. Red Rumours went up at 1 o'clock today. It's hardly had any views. So when this finishes, please go and watch Red Rumours. It's only 10 minutes. And it's our weekly transfer show that goes up at 1 o'clock every week. I'd hate to stop doing it, but the views were atrocious today. So all I want to say is whether you're watching live or not, make sure you keep tuning into the United Stand, 8 o'clock every night. We're building towards Newcastle very, very soon. Football's going to be back twice a week with United playing, so there's loads and loads to do. We're building up towards Christmas as well. Keep getting involved, keep spreading the word. Don't be complacent, because that's when results go bad, whether that's football or the United Stand. So thanks everyone tonight, you've been brilliant. Thanks for the 400 people who have dropped a like on the video for their fellow community United Standers who've come on tonight. We are back tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I've got Rodney on. We are building towards the weekend. Remember, Saturday's a big day on the United Stand. We're doing the 24-hour stream. I'll have the Just Giving page up about halfway through this week. I really want to try and save a lot of money up for that. Raise a lot of money, sorry. Especially, you know, it's a personal thing, but cancer's not personal. It touches everybody. We've seen it with Liam Miller. Terrible news about that, ex-United player. So that's a big day for us on the weekend. And what else have we got? Red Rumours. Please go and watch Red Rumours. If you do one thing for me, please go and watch Red Rumours. It's the link's in the video. It's on the page somewhere. But thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all very soon, and I'll see you tomorrow night as well. So thanks everyone for watching. Really enjoyed the show tonight. I'm getting better. Don't worry. I'm still feeling a bit under the weather. But I'm getting better. The likes have just gone up to 430 as well. So thanks everyone who has supported everyone who's called in. See you soon.